and welcome to another episode of He Said, She Said, underneath the umbrella of the Urban Breakdown Podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Urban Breakdown Podcast, featuring hit shows such as He Said, She Said, Politics, 360 Degrees, and Black Man's Perspective. Also, on a separate podcast station, check out Odie's, and she'll do her own little commercial plug, and F. Christopher Blue, who has his own solo, and mine is called The Eclectic Perspectives of Mr. Blue. And that was all about empowering and enlightenment. They have little short tidbits and sometimes just information that might be useful for you to know. Not all the comedy that this one has, not all the humor that this one has, more serious, more oriented to empowerment and education. And that's that. All right, we're going to get started with this party with Mercedes and Odie. Our other homies don't seem to be on today as they have very busy social lives, as we have dedicated this time here every week to give the people what they need regarding the he said, she said perspective, because we're that invested in empowering this community and empowering the relationships between man and woman, and woman and woman, and man and man, and man and one who doesn't identify as either, or identifies as a shim or a him, and you know what I'm saying. There's just so much confusion going on these days regarding that.
Everybody.
Terms. I'm not gonna.
I was just gonna say you must have read my text just now, because and we're so in sync, because I was just thinking like our next podcast, our next episode should really be about what your pronoun is. But obviously that is a whole conversation on its own, but we'll get to it later. But yeah.
There you go. There you go. Mercedes, please introduce the topic today.
Okay, so today's topic is about the provider, and we're talking about the man in the home, the husband, the father, the brother, the uncle, or whatever he may be. And in today's society, do we look at him as an investment or a caregiver, just somebody to take care of us? My personal perspective, I'd never invest my time into anyone that's not going to be just about everything that I need. So I find a man to be an investment, whether it be his going after his goals, whether it be financial and everything else. Odie, what do you think?
I kind of touched a little bit on like what I think my ideal man would look like. Not physically, of course, but as far as like things, I do think he should be my everything, especially in areas that I'm lacking. I think I'm personally very self-aware of like what my shortcomings are, what my strengths aren't necessarily. And I think wherever I lack, he should really be that supplement. And anything outside of that is a liability. So if he's not an asset or helping me in any way, then he is a liability and he's not going to be my man. For me, it's just that simple. But it seems that like some people, not even women, but some people tend to think it's better to have a piece of something than nothing at all. And I think that's where people kind of fuck things up. But as for me and mine, yeah, he has to be... I'm such a nerd. I was thinking he has to be the obtuse to my like isosceles triangle or whatever. Like he has to be the missing angle. Like we got to make one whole pie. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and I feel like also in today's society, women don't, and this isn't, you know, just to bash women, because men have their part where they don't appreciate us as well. But I feel like women don't appreciate. I've heard, like we talked about last show, women that just go out for a meal. They won't take the time to see if he's even good enough to be, over the course of a few days and a few meals and a few conversations. It could be just a walk in the park, something free. They don't even take the time to see, you know what, that whole concept. I probably already met my husband yet, but I wasn't acting right and I missed out on him. They typically, overlook the man that could be their investment, not just somebody to take care of them, feed them, clothe them, and keep a smile on their face. And then there comes the other side of that, what we talked about last time, also happy wife, happy life. It's not all about making her happy. You got to invest into his happiness too. So it's like in the long run, I would like for my husband to be, when it comes down to money, financially set. And I'm not talking about, I don't want no rich man. I'd much rather have someone that I can invest in and we can invest in each other and make money. A millionaire would be nice, but that's not realistic. I think that's what most women who have their mind completely set on that, they look for the man who is already set, who's already the millionaire, not realizing that even if he has $1 million or more, he could still be in the process of growing within himself. It doesn't mean that he's where he wants to be financially. And outside of financially, someone who's family oriented, because I do have a big family, somebody who likes to travel. There are a few different things. And also when it comes down to personality at this age, I'm really not in the mood to start over and have to deal with grown men with attitudes and a bunch of other stuff. Just let's get to know each other and let's just be old together and grow even older together. That's what I'm looking for. So maybe everybody's different.
I am
That
in the
bullshit.
What's that bullshit? What part? What part? Please elaborate.
I didn't take my medicine today. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
we about to kick him off. Kick him out.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, I wish that those things could manifest often, but I find that people today are just really selfish regarding what they take from a relationship or what they give in a relationship. I don't see a lot of continuity regarding relationships. I see that women feel like their value is in regards to their nurturing aspect, but when it's all said and done, what are they really contributing to the relationship?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you, like, again, back to these women already wanting this rich man, and she's coming with a hefty bag, 2 kids, and 3 baby daddies, and half a job, she's not contributing anything. And that goes for men too. You can't just, okay, as the mother, this is why they make the topic about women, because as the mother, everybody knows we're the caregiver. We nurture the kids. We take care of the household. We do all this other stuff. It's a lot of times forgotten what the male's role is in our lives. That starts with when you first meet down to dating. So, how can I put it? What I listed off would be ideal, but I know it would come with other stuff. There are going to be some flaws there. That's like the perfect side of an imperfect situation, I guess, is what I am painting out here. But we have to remember as women also that the man is the head of the household or whatever, or should be leading the relationship. He should make the decisions. That also goes back to the topic of should a woman ever propose to a man. Also being in a relationship, it just, I don't know. Even if you have like what people would consider like a unique relationship or abnormal relationship, I still feel like the man, he has a role that's kind of natural and it doesn't change. It doesn't change. It never changes is what I mean. But I think as women, not us per se, but just in general, I think we forget what that is sometimes. And I think sometimes some men forget what it is too. And they let women take over.
It's funny that you should mention that. I'm actually going to pull up this Instagram post. That is the beauty of our platform here. But I want to be able to share it with everybody just so you can kind of see what I'm referring to. One sec. Yeah. So this post came up. Hopefully you guys can see it now.
No, you haven't shown
it.
Yeah, here we go. Go ahead, Kyle.
Here we go. So this is a post that came across my social media in the past, I don't know, maybe 2 days ago. I saw it on Facebook. And it's basically a post about a man where he was calling his wife weak. And he was saying that she had these really intense emotional reactions. And he was like telling her to be a woman and grow up and do all of these things. And basically he just captured this really intimate, private, and sweet moment where she's just crashed. Like she's been, like taking care of his 2 children. She'd worked at like a 12-hour shift or something like that. Yeah, as you can see, it references it there. And this was on the Shade Room too, where they actually reached out to him, and they had posted some pictures of the 2 of them. So this is, I guess, an example of a man who has realized his blessings and realized his role in a relationship. And I guess he had this epiphany where he realized he'd been taking his woman for granted. So I would like my man to see that effort much sooner rather than later, but kudos to him to recognizing it at all.
But look how Marionette's booty responded. Why the fuck would you call her weak in the first place, you piece of shit? I don't care about that. But after hearing everything he said, he sounds like some abusive husband. Girl, I can't read it if you move it.
It's still read. It's still
That's
up
why,
here.
Girl, leave him. Ew. Yeah, that is some bullshit. Why would you be no matter what she going through, y'all got to work together. You don't be verbally abusing her and talking ish to her, especially if she grinding like that 12 hours. We complaining and bitching about 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
True.
kill that screen though. If I can get some FaceTime up in this bitch.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, as the woman, we do so much, and we're often overlooked. As far as like that goes, when, like, for example, I have 5 children, so I'm drained most of the time. I'm tired. I work from home. While I'm working, I gotta cook. I gotta put something quick in the stove, and typically a casserole to make it quick. Washing clothes, the washing machine and the dishwasher running in the background while I'm working. The kids upstairs watching Netflix. I just gotta make sure they be quiet while we're. There's so many little things.
Oh,
it's so much.
Netflix now. I mean,
Netflix.
They have Netflix Kids.
Yeah, my kids have a kids account.
I'm sorry, I only associate with Netflix and.
No, they have a Netflix Kids too.
No, yeah, they have you can set up parental controls. I have mine where my kids can't see like the scary and the weird stuff on the parent side, and they got the kids, and when you pull it up, it'll say which profile do you want to view today, and I have mine locked with the password, and they have theirs. But so they'll watch TV in their rooms or play video games on the Xbox or something like that. But I don't know, I still have to balance the day. The other day, I was standing outside, and my tail lights, the blinkers had, they were flashing real fast, so one of them had went out. So I went to the auto parts store, and I bought what I was supposed to buy. I unscrewed my tail lights, and I changed my tail lights. And it was a guy, the bulbs or whatever, it was a guy standing outside. He said, "Why are you doing this yourself? Where's your husband?" Well, I mean, I do everything myself. I didn't think I was supposed to have a husband to do it. Now, granted, I don't have a husband. I have been through a divorce, and even when I had a husband, he didn't do stuff like that. That was still on me. And because I used to do it as a job, he just never really, hey, she know how to.
Hold on. So when this guy was like, "Hey, why you doing that? Where's your husband?" When he said all that, right? Was he saying it in such a way that he wanted to holler, or was he saying it from a point of concern, or was he saying it in such a way that you a woman, you weak, you ain't supposed to be doing that?
I think it was concern.
Yeah.
And also he gave me his business card, which had nothing to do with automotive. And then he was like, "If you ever need help, just let me know." And I was like, I'm good, But then I went back to the auto parts store, and one of my headlights, I said, let me just buy brand new bulbs for the front. So I was under the hood doing that. And then he said that he came back, and he said, "I really don't believe that you should be under the hood like that." I said, and that's when it comes down to the question of what you just asked, Blue, is does he think it's like I'm weak and I shouldn't be doing it, or I'm dainty or whatever and somebody else should be doing it? And I told him, I said, "Well, you know what, I'm good." I said, "I appreciate your concern." I said, "But I'm fine. My tail lights, everything is working on my car. I even changed the fuse or whatever because my little charging things had went out. I did it all myself. And I've always been that way. I grew up in a single parent household, and I just don't remember anybody just, helping me do anything or helping my mama do anything. And I just don't remember that as a woman. So looking at that lady's pictures, even when I was married, maybe it's because I haven't had the right relationship yet. Right. I don't remember being anything other than always doing it myself. If I had somebody to pick up and do it for me, I don't even
bullshit.
It's the difference between.
Hold on, I gotta get this out because I be forgetting this shit. My medicine be messing me up. That's why I don't take it on the weekends.
Boy, I stopped talking 3 seconds ago. Come on, get it out. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. All right. What I was trying to, made me forget what I was gonna say. Oh, if a man, you probably was in the wrong relationship or not the right relationship. We're not gonna say wrong because it did manifest beautiful children, you know what I'm saying? But we'll say that it wasn't right for you per se. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody, either you're the woman or you're the man, if you verbalize something, if you verbalize a concern, and it's in my power or within my specialty to be able to address it, I should address it through appropriate communication and dialogue. We're supposed to help each other. It should be a state of homeostasis where if I'm not doing as strong in one area, you pick up and vice versa. Together we are in a relationship. Together we are molded as one.
I can't wait to meet that guy, whoever he is, back to the whole provider thing. That would be nice. Me and my sister, we had a conversation not too long ago, me and my best friend. As women, you get tired of being so strong all the time. You get tired of having to put up this strength and power all the time. At some point, you want to be vulnerable or at least be able to show emotion to somebody. I do feel like I walk around most of the time And it's like, I don't try to with this harsh exterior when I'm kind of mushy inside, really. But it's like I was raised like to always like, as far as your emotions, keep them, contain them. Or when I've been in relationships or when I'm talking to somebody, situations, you know how men are. Well, they don't want you to fall in love too quick, and you have to pretend like you don't care and all that kind of stuff. So and then I had to grow up without my dad for a little while, and I had to pretend like I didn't miss him around my mom because she didn't like him and stuff like that. It's just, I've always had to be strong when I didn't want to be strong. It's okay to be soft inside, and that's where it comes to provider. It's not always about financial investments into someone. When it comes to a man, he should be able to provide to you his shoulder to lean on, his word, his conversation, his attention to your needs. That matters too. And I'm trying to tell you, honey, when I get it, I ain't gonna know how to act. So.
Hey, but Tina, when I was beating your ass, you was in. I'm sorry, I had a flashback.
But that's what I was saying though about like complementary. So I think, establishing like gender roles, I don't think has anything to do with anything. It's just about who has the better strength. I'm thinking about like, out of all examples that come to my head, Danny Tanner from Full House like comes to my mind. Like, I don't know if you guys remember how his character was, but like he was obviously like he was a widower or whatever, but he was the neat freak. And
the OCD single dad. Yeah.
OCD single dad. And it's like, I'm clean, but I'm not like that obsessed with, like, not to his extent. So if he wants to be like OCD, cleanly, and clean the house and take on that responsibility, I'm not going to stand in his way. But if I am a stronger, I don't know, person to put like to change the oil, not that I do, but let's just say that was my strength, even though that is a gender, specific role for the most part, I would do it. Like, it's just, again, about finding someone to complement and strengthen your weaknesses. That's it. Like, I think it should be that simple. Like I said, anything less than that is a liability.
Yeah, and I totally agree. It's like, I don't know. I know I joke around and play about being, as far as like, being single. When I say single, I mean unmarried. Even if you're talking to somebody or in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, I'm getting old. So at some point, you're going to want that thing again. And I was married, and it just wasn't the right, like Lou said, it may not have been, the right situation. But I learned from it. It was definitely a learning process for my 20s. But when I got into it, as I'm in my 30s now, I want something real, something, a foundation to something.
Just because you like you're able to do something doesn't mean you should have to. And that goes back to your point too about being vulnerable. You want to be able to say, all right, like, yeah, I can change this light bulb, but I don't want to have to. Not when I have like an able-bodied partner to help me,
Yeah.
And so I'm not getting approached by some mechanic who thinks like. I mean, it also kind of goes. I'm not sure how much you guys agree with the pumping your gas role, because I dated a guy, and like one day I had hopped out, like I had just like not thinking about it, but I had hopped out to put the gas in my car, and he was like like he didn't curse me out, but it was like, it was like a very strong reaction, and he was like, as long as you with me, like, you can't be pumping your gas.
Yeah.
And again, I know how to, but that was his shit.
How quick was he to get out the car initially? How did you even unbuckle your seatbelt before he was able to react? You know what I'm saying?
It was like the first time it happened, so it wasn't even like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't. I don't know if he thought I was about to go in the store, but he did get out the car and he was going to pump the gas. Like,
what's even more gangster though? I'm gonna tell you 100%. Just let's say she go to bed at whatever time she go to bed or whatever. You take her car in the middle of the night and fill it up with gas. It don't even have no conversation about it. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then like when me and my friend or whatever went on our first date, I'm sitting there in the movie theater when we walked in or whatever, and I'm the type of person, I like 50-50. I don't mind splitting. And you never know what to expect on a first date with somebody. So, I proceeded to, hand my debit card. And he was like, I don't know where you came from, but you might want to put a debit card away.
You know exactly where you came from. You came from Greenville, South Carolina.
But most people, most women, we don't know how to take these men nowadays. We don't know what they will and won't do. Like, I'm gonna tell you this story, and it's very short. But back to the whole gas station and pumping stuff. This wasn't even a gas station. She wasn't even pumping gas. We were at the gas station. I saw this girl. She was a complete stranger, and it was like, oh my God, so below freezing outside. It had to be like 19 degrees that morning, and that was this winter. And when I got out the car, I'm running the car to get my kids some snacks real quick before they go to school for snack time. And under the hood, I didn't realize that it was a female when I walked in. But I did see a guy sitting in the car. And I was like, okay, didn't think much about it, came back out. Female with a, cap on or whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this can't be real. So I walked over to her, I said, do you need any help or anything? She said, I think I need a jump or a start or something. And I was like, okay, cool. And I knocked on the window. I said, do you have jumper cables? He said, oh, no, this ain't my car. And I was like, but you sitting in it. I said, okay, cool. So she didn't have jumper cables. And you know how us people with new cars that are barely like 2 years old, we tend to not have stuff like jumper cables. But I just so happened to have my friend's jumper cables because he needed to jump one night. And I said, you know what? I got jumper cables. So I went and pulled the car around and by her to help her start her car. And the little truck, it jumped off right there. And I told her, I said, before you close this hood, I'm just going to let you know, if that's your boyfriend or that's your man and that's your baby daddy, you need to replace that, because there was no reason for two women to be standing outside this car to get the jump off for him to say the car is not his and continue to sit in that car and not help either one of us. I said, that is a trash piece of man. I can't tell you what to do, but you might want to free yourself of that situation, because if he won't help you on little stuff like this, he's not going to help you on bigger grounds later on in life. He's not going to be there for you in any way.
There was actually,
hold on. I got a story. That's kind of like yours, but not really. Then you can tell your point, Odie, because you got a better memory than me, Odie, so hold it.
No, my memory is actually terrible, but go ahead.
Oh.
It's really terrible.
I was at Sheetz. I don't know if y'all have Sheetz down there in South Carolina. Sheetz is like a Walmart / gas station with a restaurant.
Say Spinks?
Huh?
No, Sheetz.
We don't.
Okay, well, it's like a Walmart / gas station.
It's like a Wawa up north.
/ restaurant. Best food on the planet. But I don't eat there, so this is what people tell me. Anyways, forget that. So I'm going to get my Netflix because I get these codes, and no matter what time I get these codes, I'm on it. If I get a free code, I'm at the red box getting me a movie because I'm all about movies, you know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing better than free. I digress. So anyway, yes, I got the code. I ran out. I went to get the red box. Boom, lo and behold, I see a young woman with a little belly, maybe about 4 or 5 months, or she might have just been fat. I don't know, shit. I was like, oh man, it's raining out here. She's about to pump her gas. I said, whoa. I don't know you, not trying to holler. I'm from Compton, I don't give a fuck. But I do not appreciate the fact that you're out here in this weather pumping gas, and it's cold as shit out here. Let me pump your gas. Boom. She said, she was a little skittish about it, but she let me take the gas thing and I start pumping. This bullshit ass motherfucking blood, because I'm Crip, right? So this bullshit ass motherfucking blood, he get up and he said like, yo, what you doing pumping gas for my girl, Holmes? So I said, you slob ass nigga, I don't fuck with you, homie. How you gonna have your pregnant girl out here pumping gas, you bitch ass nigga? I'm gonna turn my back and I'm gonna pump this gas. And if you jump bad, you jump bad because you a bitch. And I kept on pumping the gas and he got his bitch ass back in the car. Go ahead, Odie.
So when did the cops pull up? There was so much gang-related violence here.
I don't know if Odie thinks Durham is like utopia. No, Durham is gutter.
I ain't say all that now. I just became friendly with Durham like last year. So no.
Durham is gutter. We ain't gonna hardly ever see no.
I didn't fuck with Durham prior to last year because of that exact reason. I know what Durham is capable of.
I can tell you.
I heard a lot of black people in Durham. There's a lot of African Americans.
Yeah, we used to be Black Wall Street. But the white people fixed that. Odie, your story?
I forgot. I'm not even saying that to be funny. I really just forgot that.
But I'm sorry I had to get that story out because I was going to forget. I won't do it again, though. I'm going to start writing shit down.
I just, at the end of the day, like, it's like I don't judge, but I do kind of judge when I see situations like that. Yeah. And I mean, if you're to be her protector, then that's a little thing that you can do. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. There was a letter, like a listener letter on another podcast that I listened to, I subscribed to, and the woman was basically saying she was going through a hard time and like she was trying to get her life together, and the man that she was involved with didn't acknowledge any of it. Like she was like about to be evicted and like lost her job and all types of stuff. And he was very consumed with himself and basically was on some like, but when you gonna come fuck me, or like when you gonna come suck my dick kind of thing. Just like no compassion, no consideration for what she was facing, what she was going through. And I was just thinking about in Mercedes' example of the couple that she saw in the car. I was like, yeah, I feel like those are the signs that women miss for whatever reason. But that again, that goes back to my original point of some people just would rather have a warm body there, even though they're not there.
Right, and then also maybe not even a real relationship, and it's just like somebody that's just they're kicking it with, or they haven't established a relationship. We can't think that everybody's marriage material or engaged whenever we see them out and about. It might just be a weed connect. It might be the buddy sex weed connect, like how you used to have, blase. It might be just a homie. It might be their brother. It might be their uncle, their nephew, their cousin. It might be their little retarded little cousin. I don't even like to say the word retarded, but just to make an example.
Definitely should not.
We can't always make the assumption that this is their man, but 9 times out of 10, it probably is a sorry-ass man. Why is it that I often see women driving and men in the passenger seat like they on that song by TLC called Scrubs? Watch out now. The woman gets out of the car, pumps the gas, and this dude just chilling on his phone, looking at Facebook and Instagram.
Probably texting another bitch while
exactly.
in the car.
Looking up Cardi B and shit.
But if you're gonna be on the passenger side of my car, at least pump my gas. At least run to the store and get me a bottle of water. Do something. Because, and on top of that, I don't like people to drive my car because everybody don't drive the same. People like to hit potholes. People brake differently. People just drive differently. I remember one time letting my ex-husband drive my car, and I just got the wheel alignment and everything. He brought that thing back, and about within a week of us driving or switching back and forth, all out of alignment and everything, it didn't even brake different. It had new brake pads. I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't get to break in my new shoes and brakes on the car. It felt terrible. So once he got his own car, we didn't do the whole family thing again. I never touched his car. He never touched mine because people drive different. So me personally, I want you on the passenger side. I don't want you to touch my stuff, but you can pump the gas. And I don't like riding with nobody either. Ugh, I cannot.
I'm thinking about the ones who are sitting in the passenger side because they have no choice, like they
driver's license
or or something like that. There's definitely some men who fit that bill too, but
yep, plenty of them.
Right.
I was married to one. He did not have a license from 2007, so I made him get it back in 2015.
I don't even feel.
You're a good one. You're a good one. Whoever got you got a good one, or maybe they don't got a good one because you choose some bad ones. So fuck them and fuck you too.
I'm done with you, Blue. He's terrible.
Compton all day. I don't give a fuck.
I guess, yeah. Is that all we got?
Oh, I got a strawberry letter. Hold up. Y'all want to read the strawberry letter?
What the hell is a strawberry letter? I don't know what that is.
The strawberry letter is from, I think, is it Steve Harvey or Tom Jordan? It's one of the, I think it's Tom.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So that's probably a copyright infringement. I have a letter to the podcast. That doesn't sound as hip though.
Dear he's and she's.
Nah, I'm gonna ask that person to come in and discuss this in person, as our perspective would be skewed. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have her come in probably next week. All right. Any other concepts, questions, insights, discussions you want to bring to the table? It's funny. Now that we got this extended broadcast, we still are 40 minutes or less. Right now we at 29.5. Odie.
I mean, what's the problem?
I thought for sure we were
my parting words.
When we didn't have the extended broadcast, we was always begging for more, and now that we got it, we don't even do it like that.
Hey. My parting words, I just say, get you some assets. See what I did there? See how married assets. Anyway, get you an asset. Leave the trash alone. That's all I gotta say.
If it don't make you better, then it ain't for you. You should always get something that's gonna contribute to your growth, not contribute to your loss of growth. I couldn't think of the English word version what that would be.
And invest into someone that's gonna invest into you equally. It's not 50-50, it's 100-100.
I don't know about
question. I have a follow-up question about that though.
I feel like pimping, like I'm gonna invest in you, bitch. I'm gonna make you the best bitch ever, cause I'm Tom Sneed, bitch. Hey.
I have a quick question though about that. Does this apply to all relationships or only ones that you're trying to actually grow with? Because one thing we talked about a little bit after the show wrapped last week is how I had a couple side dudes for like a long time. And
like 15 years. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah, 15 years. I mean, 15 years, but that's all I felt that they were good for. Like, I understood this is not somebody I'm trying to invest in. This is not someone.
That was an investment.
That was
Hey, it's keeping the plumbing going.
That was an investment. That's the investment. Now I'm speaking on long-term investments as a provider, as a man. That was your investment to your side, dude. Y'all were just, and maybe talk, maybe hang.
Not really. No, I feel like that would be more of an like actually investing time outside of the actual do is worse. Like, and that's how feelings get involved and people get all fucked up with like.
That is very true.
It's like I've kept it very linear to be like, all right, this is
men getting their feelings a lot too. I've had that. I've had some situations where I didn't even have like actual sex with them, but other stuff he might have done to me. But they got in a few of them got in their feelings about it. I'm like,
what? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep it. I would say keep it PG-13, but kids ain't listen to our podcast. Adults are. So oral sex, I got it. He gave it. I got it.
That's it? Oh hell no! I can't eat no punani and not get none. That's that bullshit.
You asexual. It don't matter anyway. We're not talking about you.
We're not talking about you. But I've had plenty of dudes just do that. If my list of partners, which I know exactly how many people I've been with in my life, and I know exactly who I've slept with, and I know my exact number, which is not high for my age. I've heard people up in the 60s and 70s, and I ain't nowhere near that. But if I actually had sex with everybody that I got oral sex from, I'd be a hoe. So there are men. Don't let men fool y'all. There are men out there that would just do that and then cry about it later. Well,
yeah, they probably won't say why they're crying about it. They'll just call you a hoe or say you ain't shit or whatever.
Man, F that hoe. Okay. You tried, but you failed, sir. But yeah, that happens more often than not, no matter what men say. Yep.
All right. Well, until next time, guys.
And that concludes another episode of He Said, She Said. And Blue kind of got quiet down there.
And that concludes another episode of He Said, She Said. Provider or paycheck. Or riggedy wreck your neck to pay that check. You know how I do. Disrespect. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the Urban Breakdown Podcast, available on all streaming podcast platforms with hit shows such as He Said, She Said, Black Man's Perspective, 360 Degrees, and Politics with Mercer Prescott and his band of eclectic cronies.
And we out. All
right, that's that. It's not really that. We're just going to say that's that. We're going to talk a little bit of shit afterwards for B-roll. Okay. Yeah. That was an interesting broadcast. Yeah. That eat the punani thing and not get no punani thing is kind of mind-blowing. But okay, whatever. I guess in their mind, if I do this, if I do it right, then I guess they didn't do it right because that don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, they did it right, but at the time, that's not what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for.
Are you stopping the recording, sir? Did you stop the recording?
Nah, this B-roll.
Yeah, so, well, and another thing also, what a lot of women do it too. Women do the same thing. They'll just give a man oral.
That's a little different though. They stuff might not be right that day. Their plumbing might be jacked up or something. They might be on their friend and don't do it on.
Which is true, but I'm not gonna do that if I'm not already established with you and we haven't already been having sex.
Well, you're not white.
Black girls do it all the time. I know hoes that, yeah, they got in their feelings over some crap like that. And on top of that, these dudes are nasty. They love red towels, so don't let them fool you. You should have said nothing, Blue. You know I ain't got no filter.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's this year. It's wet. You ain't got to worry about getting it wet. It stays wet. I mean, I understand the premise of it, but blood, I'm a vampire. I don't even like it like that. You know what I'm saying?
The room smell like pennies or something. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, I think B-roll footage was a bad idea.
I was listening to Sirius XM and they talked about it. I had to turn away from it because the imagery just had me all fucked up. He was talking about, he was like, yeah, like I was having sex with my girl and then her period came on and it was like Valentine's Day, I think. Oh, and then he was like, yeah, like we saw the hotel room like the next morning. He was like, it looked like a whole murder scene. Like I was just like, ew, that's so gross. Ew, like
yeah, but men can knock our period on too. Like if it's close to time, like that lasts about 2 days before it's supposed to come on. That has happened to me before too. Like, ugh. I personally don't like being touched. Maybe the last like day or two of it, maybe, but the first 2 days, I'm cramping, I'm irritable, and I just don't come near me, don't touch me. So I don't see how people do it that early.
Yeah.
I don't. Is yours regular? Like you know when it's supposed to come on, or is it irregular, or you don't really keep track of it?
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's actually pretty regular. At one point, it was not, but it got back on track. Like an idiot, I was on the shot for a while, which was stupid of me, because I got my tubes tied. One of my clamps came off or whatever, and in order to regulate, the doctor said, "Well, since one is clamped, 50% chance, let's put you on the shot." I was like, "Hey, cool," and it made me all irregular and did so many things. It actually made me sick. It made me throw up a lot, made me break out in rashes. I think it's a poison. I don't know what kind of poison it is, but it really makes a lot of people sick. And so once I got off of it, for like the 4 months after, it was very irregular, even worse than it was when I was on it. But then now it's back on track. Everything is great. But yeah, contraceptives can cause a problem with it. My natural one is perfect.
That's
so
why
I
you have
know.
to be loyal to your birth control, not be switching it up all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And then I had never been on any type of birth control like that. But when I got my tubes tied, I was like, okay. And then when my new gynecologist did an ultrasound, he saw that the little clamp was, he was like, it doesn't look right. The fallopian tube doesn't look clamped like it's supposed to be. And when he went in there, it wasn't on the way it was supposed to be. It was actually kind of sitting on the fallopian tube, and the fallopian tube was like kind of floating, which means I can get pregnant. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, how long has it been that way? He said, I can't tell. He said, well, let's just put you on the shot. It made me sick. I was on the shot for a year. It made me violently sick. I would not recommend the Depo shot to anybody at all. I had a friend on that Mirena thing, and it adhered to her uterus walls or whatever. She had to have surgery to have it removed. So yeah, I just yeah, some birth controls just aren't for. So when it comes down to knowing your period, if anything, I would say get on the pill. The pill is probably the most. It's not natural either, but it's going to be the closest old-fashioned thing to keeping you from getting pregnant.
Yeah, all the other shit is too new for me. So
yeah,
I'll just stick with the pill because everything else.
Yeah, the patch, the NuvaRing, the Mirena. Oh, and these other ones called Essure that they put in your fallopian tubes. They were like little coils. Caused another girl that I know to have a complete hysterectomy. It was terrible. So yeah, I stay away from it all. And I know at one point people were judging me for having 5 kids. I said, you know what? But I fixed it. But my point is, it's really no one's business. I'd much rather have and keep my kids and flush them. And I said, you know what? It's my mistake. And it's not even a mistake. It was my decision. And at one point I was married to three of the youngest 3. I was married to their dad. We just had kids. But after that, my baby is 4. She'll be 5 next month. I ain't had no more kids. I ain't got pregnant, ain't nothing. I'm good. So
Are you
I don't
Catholic?
know.
Are you Catholic?
No. Catholics don't believe in birth control.
Catholics don't. Yeah, I was about to say that Catholics don't do birth control,
Oh.
and they don't do birth control.
I'm agnostic, but I grew up Methodist.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I got some chicken nachos to make with some friends, so I'm outie.
All right, bye.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye. How do you stop recording?